I know everybody will be quick to blame the king for the event at the end of this episode, but it's clearly not the case. I highly doubt the king is the one that's at fault for that final part of this episode, with Melty apparently about to get assassinated. The reason why I say this is because right before that exchange, when we saw Melty literally about to get stabbed by a soldier, you see the king actually show some humanity. He actually shows that he cares about Myne and Melty, and he's very conflicted when they were having their arguments. Just his entire character interaction in that moment really proved a lot about him, that he doesn't want to see his two daughters come to any harm. So I highly doubt he would be the one to actually order an assassination attempt on his own daughter. I know in different stories, media, royalty or nobles usually attack their own bloodline, but I highly doubt that's the case here. However, the person that most likely did initiate this is obviously Myne. I mean, let's look at the cold, hard facts. Myne is not the crown princess. Melty is. Even though Melty is obviously the younger sister, she is the crown princess while Myne is not. And what this means is when they finally come of age and the queen steps down, the king steps down, Melty will be in charge of the kingdom and her word will be law, which would mean that Myne would be just the class, character. She will not be able to really manipulate and control major decisions in the kingdom. It would be solely up to Melty. So because of that, obviously Myne would not want Melty to be the crown princess, so she saw a perfect opportunity. She saw a perfect opportunity to be able to get rid of Melty while also becoming the crown princess to be able to rule the country. And so that is where we get the final sequence of this episode. So what is the objective here? Why would she do this now of all times? Well, looking at everything, it does make sense why Myne would attack right now. Because, number one, the shield hero, he's leaving the country, okay? He's just straight up leaving. He's done with this country. It's given him really nothing good at all besides Raftalia, Philo, and the shopkeeper, and then the slave trader. But, I mean, even then, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to everything that this country's kind of done to him. So he's just getting up, leaving. He's going to another country that could actually offer him some respect and people that he would actually be willing to protect and care about. So that's what he's doing. And in this case, when you see how he's leaving, this is a perfect opportunity for Myne to set up the shield hero because she knows for a fact that Melty is going to want to intervene and stop the shield hero from leaving because she doesn't want to see the relationships break down between the shield hero and the kingdom. So Melty went out of her way, and because that Myne saw an opening, she's like, oh, my sister's going out there, she's chasing after the shield hero because it's going to be a secluded place and all that, barely any witnesses. It would make it to where I can get rid of her while also getting rid of the shield hero in one foul swoop. And the reason how this could work is because, number one, obviously the soldiers in that little party are a hit squad that Myne most likely personally ordered to do that, which because of that, they could easily manipulate information and completely work against what the shield hero will say. Because, I mean, if, Melty is dead, nothing he says is going to be able to refute whatever the soldiers say or what Myne says. Because, number one, they hold higher power, and also people don't already respect Naofumi in the begin with, so that already puts him in a hard spot. So if she would have died right then and there, or she does die, Naofumi he's screwed. He can't do anything. He's done. It's GG, because, I mean, there would be no other witnesses besides Philo and Raftalia, Naofumi himself, that could even say anything opposed to what the soldiers would say. So they would obviously not believe him at all. So that's the, situation he's in. So Myne now is trying to take out the sister, because if she dies, automatically she could pin that on Naofumi, said he murdered Melty, and then on top of that, if she doesn't even murder Melty, she has it to where Melty is kidnapped, and she could throw that on top of Naofumi that he kidnapped a princess because of his aggression towards the king, which in turn can make his relationship with the kingdom a hell of a lot worse. So yeah, that's the situation right now. That's what I got from this episode, or at least the final sequence, and it makes sense why Myne would do that, because she wants to be the crown princess. She doesn't want someone like Melty to actually control the kingdom. Now anyways, let's talk about that setup though, and kind of what Naofumi's options are right now. Now that he's technically being set up, what could he do? Well, obviously, Melty is the main objective. They get rid of her, everything falls into place, and everything will go according to plan for Myne. However, if Naofumi somehow could get Melty back to the king to show the king what's going on, most likely everything will work out in the end, and then they'll realize what Myne is really doing. However, I do see some potential possibilities that someone could be forcing Melty to say words against her will. For instance, I could see the crown popping up and saying, oh, the only reason why Melty is defending the shield hero or saying he didn't kidnap her is because, oh, he's forcing her to say that. Because if she doesn't say that, they will all die or something. Because, I mean, the shield hero did technically threaten all of them in that throne room in this episode. So, there's a lot of things working against Naofumi right now. Even if he was kind of to bring back Melty, they would probably think that she's under control or something. So, it's a bad situation. I mean, he might legitimately just have to get up and leave the country with the princess and wait till the queen finally returns to be able to talk with her. That's probably going to be the objective. If he can somehow get to the queen and talk with her, and Melty can talk with her, then I think everything might work out. So, we probably are leaving the country, but not in the way that we actually expected. I thought it was going to be a nice, simple way for, Naofumi to get out of the country, be able to leave, but it seems like they wanted to have even worse terms than before, and most likely there's going to be hit squads constantly chasing him down while he goes into other countries, which could potentially sour the relationship with these other countries that Naofumi's trying to create relationships with. But okay, anyways, let's talk about, Glass for a second. So, Glass. There was a brief little instance where we saw what level Glass was, and that was Mystery. Now, typically, what this means in an MMO or RPG is that the character is most likely 10 levels higher than you, and if it's not 10 levels higher, they're just so high above you that there's just no way you could potentially win. That's pretty much what it means. Or it's a world boss. And a world boss usually is just so high of a level you'll never be able to see it to begin with. It's one of those three. And seeing Glass have that high of a level, like where it's just mystery, is pretty freaking scary. That does mean that he was literally fighting an impossible battle. It's amazing that he was even able to somewhat deal with Glass like he did and survive. Granted, it's very obvious that Glass wasn't legitimately trying to kill Naofumi and his party in that moment. It's kind of more along the lines she was testing their strength to just see how strong they are. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, when you really take a moment to analyze that entire segment, that's what it looked like. It looked like Glass wasn't really interested in killing them, even the other heroes. She was just wanting to see how strong they are, where they're at, their level, and just seeing if they could potentially defeat all these waves going forward. That's what it looked like to me. It didn't seem like Glass was really trying to be outright malicious at the start. It did seem like the next fight she will be serious, but for now, though, it seems like there was just more along the lines of just seeing what type of heroes there really are, which does mean that this character, that is Glass, she's most likely not the main figurehead of these waves, because she does mention that there's more to these waves than meets the eye, and even Naofumi starts asking, like, what's going on here? I mean, you have someone that has this immense strength, that's this intelligent, someone that's not like a typical monster, just doing stuff like this and then randomly disappears as well. Who is this person? What is this person? Is this person a demon? Is this person from another world? Is this person, who is this person? We really don't know at all, but apparently, the person that Naofumi was fighting, Glass, she also technically was summoned and then disappeared, because you could see how she just vanished in this episode. She completely vanished in light, and that was it, which kind of references what happens with these waves. When the waves come in, you have to where they're quickly, they appear out of nowhere, you have to where the entire sky changes, the monsters appear, but then soon as the boss is defeated, everything disappears, and that's kind of what happened there. It's like she was forcibly ejected out of that area, and that was it. She had an actual time limit. She even stated that in this episode, that she had a time limit, and that was it. And time ran out, she was forced to leave. So yeah, I think there's more to these waves. I feel like there might be another side of these waves that we're not understanding, and it might not be entirely evil. Like, I feel like these waves might not be actually originally evil. There could be more to it than we actually know, which I think eventually will be explained. But okay, let's talk about what Naofumi did to the king. So, Naofumi, after obviously the wave was defeated, he was invited into the throne room. And at first I was like, whoa, he's finally being acknowledged for his efforts, for actually doing something and being able to take down a boss that not the other heroes could. Like, they couldn't take down the boss at all. And as soon as the king's like, well, it's true, you actually defeated this boss. And then he's like, how did you obtain all this power? With your title, Shield Hero, how did you do this? And he was just automatically, he was being condescending and looking down upon Naofumi and thinking he was of a higher tier. But then Naofumi kind of stomped him in his place. He's like, bro, you're coming at me being rude like this, when in my country, if you really want to know something, you should ask properly, nicely, and beg in a way. But you demanding like you are, why should I show you respect, regardless? I mean, you've already done so many heinous things to me, why should I show you respect? And so Naofumi's like, I'm not telling you, why should I tell you? I'm not going to allow you to know how to weaken more shield heroes maybe in the future and make them to where they're not like me, and you can continuously force them down to make them feel horrible. I feel like that's kind of what Naofumi is trying to say. He's like, why should I tell you how these shield heroes get strong for, you know, you can manipulate them to where they can never get strong. But it doesn't just stop there as well. He also threatens him like, look, I defeated that boss that no other hero could. You really think that you could stop me right now in this room if I wanted to take you all out? And the king got actually scared. He legitimately got scared, which proved a lot in that moment. It showed that he knew that if he continues to antagonize and mess with Naofumi, it's going to lead to some really dire consequences, which I think the king at this time, he is very aware that he cannot continue to press this issue with Naofumi. Well, Myne is obvious that she doesn't care. She legitimately doesn't seem like she cares about anything and the repercussions to the country just because of how malicious she really is. But there does seem to be more to the king than meets the eye. I mean, besides just the fact that, you know, obviously we know he's scum and all that, what he's done to Naofumi and what he did in this episode, it doesn't change the fact, though, that it seems like there's more to his reasoning on framing Naofumi and making him look like a bad guy than we actually knew to begin with. Because he does say that he doesn't want to lose, like, another family member in this episode, which implies that maybe one of his family members could be taken hostage, or someone died thanks to, you know, someone else, and that's why he's having to manipulate the shield hero like he's doing. There's just a lot of things in this episode that's kind of question mark, which I assume will be answered very soon. And I think that's pretty much about it. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content of, you know, Shield Hero, let me know in the comments below. If you want more of it, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.